What's going on? It's Jimmy Friday, and we back at it. This week we talking about the tears of a strong man, and I'm gonna touch on some very touchy subjects that men deal with, and the things we have to carry around with us. As a man, the world expects us to be strong. We are taught to use more strength and less emotions. We are not to talk about things that hurt us. If we mention pain, it is taken as a sign of weakness. So we walk around with a lot of hostility built up within us. Ignoring things that hurt us as kids turn into childhood trauma that leads to adult issues because we never dealt with the root of the problem. As a man, it should be okay to express our emotions and feelings so we can release the pain trapped inside of us without being labeled as weak. These are the tears of a strong man. If we are allowed to vent in a non-judgmental setting, then it can help us not release our trauma in a rage or in a detrimental way. Something that's going to cause hurt to others because we are free. We'll be able to free ourselves from the inside, from the pain that's keeping us bound. And as a man of color, we deal with unequal treatment from the world. Sometimes we are looked upon as a threat to society. The pain stored within us is hard to bear when you are only wanting a chance but are cast out because of your appearance. These are the tears of a strong man. We deal with heartbreaks incorrectly. We break others' hearts from us not knowing how to properly let our hearts heal from neglect as youths. They say hurt people, and it all falls back onto the lessons of us having to be strong and suppress our true feelings. We are not taught how to talk to people correctly. We talk out of pain, so we try to cover it up. So that's why at times when situations occur and we have to have encounters with people, we respond with a rage, or as if we are being threatened. So we should be able to have some kind of outlet, other than physically or in a rage. I'll say, growing up in fatherless homes make it hard to lead your household and be a man when you are having to learn from a woman. Some homes have a father in them, but he is disconnected from the family because of his habits or the things that he does that's destroying him from within. So intimacy is not present. So both homes are equal to the same. As I think of, when Jesus wept, it shows the sorrow from the feelings of being let down. It shows the empathy within for hurting people. And as strong as he was to bear the weight of the world on his back, that speaks volumes. The tears of a strong man is our weakness coming out in silent words. Only if we could be able to express how we feel without being looked upon as less than a man, but rather as a human that is made of flesh with emotions, we can learn how to heal from the trauma within. We are not the tin man that has no feelings. So I think that's why it's very important that we stay connected to our Creator, our Maker, because the way the world has shaped us and taught us how to live, it makes us become callous to things. And we lived like that for so long that it's our first nature. So we don't know how to really express things. We don't really know how to love correctly. We only say it with words, when our actions should be the first thing that people see as a true person with feelings and emotions. If we are supposed to lead the world, if a man is supposed to lead, he can only lead so far being strong and tough. Because when it's time to be emotional and really connect with other people, we are empty in certain areas, so we don't have a full connection. It's like we're just a shell of a man. We only taught to go out there and work, do the hard jobs, So, you know, make it tough for us to actually connect and bond when we have to put the strong armor down and be a loving father or a loving sibling or a family member or friend. So, you know, I'm going to take you to this scripture, so bear with me. It's Ezekiel 36:26. I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from you your heart of stone, and give you a heart of flesh. So that's why I say, you know, it's very important that we stay connected to the one that created us, so he can restruct, you know, the Great Spirit can restruct our hearts that's hardened from the world and the things we have to keep buried up inside of us, so we can actually love correctly. You know, so I think about, you know, a time when my son, the first time he ever saw me cry was when he went to college. And, you know, at the time, it was like the sand in the hourglass was running out. And, you know, so my words were very purposeful then, because it was like 2 hours before we had to leave. And so as I'm thinking of what to tell him in these last moments before he get out into the world and have to live on his own, it kind of hit me that everything you say to him from now until we leave, it need to have purpose. And so as I'm speaking to him, I got emotional, and just the pride in me of you know, coming up, of not being able to cry in front of someone, it made me turn my back on him and shed tears. And then I finally turned around to face him, and he told me, like, wow, Dad, you know, my whole life I've never seen you shed a tear. And so, you know, it kind of made me think about it, you know, like the tears of a strong man, you know, and so at times he's never saw me cry, because when it was time for me to cry, I would go in my room and I would shed tears behind closed doors, because I thought he would look at me like, Pops is weak, like, you know, he crying. And, you know, so at times when he cry, you know, I have to correct myself to let him vent, let him cry, and talk him through the tears, instead of telling him to wipe the tears and be strong and tough, because that's going to damage him later on in life. You know, so I think about not just myself, but other men, how we have to hold these tears inside, how we have to take in the pain, because we don't want others to look at us as weaklings, or, you know, as if somebody is going to try to take us as easy pushovers because we have emotions and we are in tune with ourselves. You know, I think about, you know, when you cry, pain is being released. You know, our tears come out because our true feelings have had enough. And when the steam boils up inside of you, it only has two options to come out. You can either shed tears, or you can let it explode with physicality. And so you can't control water. Wherever water wants to go, that's where it's going to flow. And so tears come out, you know. But if you ever notice, after you ever shed tears, you'll find strength. It's like pressure is released. You know, so after the tears, strength arises. So as men, we should be able to shed tears. We should be able to, you know, express our emotions without the people judging us in a certain way. And so for all of my brothers out there, no matter what color you are, you're my brother. So I'm going to take you to a scripture, you know, and I want you to, you know, soak it in, you know. So whenever it's time for you to feel like you need to let those tears out, do it. Don't hold yourself back, you know, because you need it. You need to release that, you know, so you're not expressing your emotions in the wrong setting. So I'm going to take you to, Revelations 21, verse 4. The Spirit will wipe every tear from your eye. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. So you got to remember the Creator, He'll wipe every tear. That's why whenever you do cry, you have so much power after that. Because when you are weak, the Creator is strong. So, that'll wrap it up for this week. These are the tears of a strong man. So y'all keep your head up and keep pressing forward. Stay strong, but stay strong with love. Life is a forward march. Forget what's behind you and focus on what's in front of you. Y'all be cool.